Hey, how's it going, everyone? I had a chance to meet up with Alex from FeelVR. He showed us a quick little video on how the wheel was, like how it got started and where it's at now. And then we did a little demo test on he let us drive it on a playseat rig. I will say though that with the playseat rig, it wasn't very good for the wheel at all. If you have a really weak rig, you're gonna get a lot of flex. The wheel being direct drive, obviously it's got a good amount of force feedback if you want it to. I mean, you can see in the video there was a lot of flex. Same with the pedals as well. There was so much flex, but with it being, load cell brake pedal and with the clutch and the gas just being a normal spring, under heavy braking, you could feel a lot of flex. I will say I have a GT Omega Pro rig, and I think it would do really well with that. It also has a Fanatic bolt-up pattern, is from what Alex said, so that the wheel would bolt hard mount straight to the rig itself. Now as for the wheel, I really liked it. The force feedback was very smooth, and it was pretty strong. We didn't have any problems with the wheel or pedals. I seen a video from William Marsh at the Sim Racing Paddock, and he said that the wheel did have problems. I asked Alex about it, and he said that he showed me that one of the screws from the external power supply actually has like little rubber feet on the bottom of it, and it actually, when it screwed up through there, it was touching it ended up touching one of the boards or microchips on the inside of the power supply, and it actually caused it to short out and stop working. They ended up finding that was the issue. They fixed it, and we didn't have any problems with it. I also really liked the adjustability of the pedals. You can change the angle of the pedals, which was really cool because the angle of my pedals on my GT Omega rig over there with the Logitech pedals, I don't really care for. I kind of feel like I have to bend my foot up a lot more than I should, but I kind of deal with it because that's all I have for now. It's really easy to adjust the pedals as well, like for strength, and if you want to make them stiffer or easier to push, you can just turn it with your fingers. I mean, and it's super simple. Like I said, you can also adjust the angle. You can get more leverage on it, which made it really nice. I also like that the pedals and the wheel are independent from each other, so you don't have to have both. Like on my Logitech rig, my pedals have to plug into my wheel, and I mean, it is what it is. But you can use those independently from each other. So if you already have a good wheel and you want to try out new pedals, or if you have good pedals that you really like and you want to try out a different wheel, that's always an option as well. It was also really super easy to switch out the rims just like it is on the other ones. Alex did say that they were the contact that they had on them now, how they mounted. I mean, you just push the back and it pops off, kind of like normal race wheels. He said that they're going to come up with their own because he didn't like that there was a little bit of wobble in the wheel side. Like if you pushed one side in and pulled the other, there was a little bit. It was a lot more than I could tell because I couldn't really tell that there was wobble there. Maybe on a stronger rig that had less flex, I might be able to tell. But it didn't seem like a big deal to me. Other people might see it as a big deal. I got to try the wheel out with a Oculus VR headset, and I had a lot of fun with it. Now, I only had a couple of cons with the wheel, but Alex said that they were going to change those when the wheel comes to full production. A couple of the other YouTubers had the same problem. They didn't like the paddle shifters. They were really small, but they were also 3D printed, which is, I mean, take it for what it is. They felt kind of cheaply made, but it's a prototype. He did say that in one of the earlier models that they had prototyped, they had and I'm sure you can, if you look around, you can see the pictures. They had pretty long paddle shifters on each side, and he said that they changed those out because they weren't sure of the design that they wanted on them, so they went with just a 3D printed one. He said that the paddles were going to be made out of some sort of metal, either being like stainless or aluminum. He wasn't 100% sure yet, but it's going to be made out of some kind of metal, which is a plus for me. The other con that I had was the buttons that were actually on the rim. They were really, really far away. If I'm gripping the steering wheel, I had to like take my hand off and press the button in to be able to reach them. I don't have huge hands, but even there was two of the other guys out there they're testing the wheel out, sorry, and they had the same problem. They didn't think that the buttons were easy to press. They all did function perfectly fine though. They had a pretty good. I mean, you really could feel when you press it. It wasn't too easy to press. It wasn't too hard to press as well. But he did say in the full production model that they actually are going to move the buttons to closer to the outside of the rim, which will make it easier for you to, kind of just hit your buttons, which is also another plus for me. I did ask Alex about how they were going to handle warranty issues if there were any, and he was telling me that they were going to try to get a US-based shop, because he was telling me that the U.S. makes up about over 50% of the market for the VR wheel. He said that he wasn't going to have people like from the U.S. or something that are really far away, that he wasn't going to have them ship the wheel or pedals if there were any issues back to the Ukraine, because the shipping is super, super expensive. He was also telling me that some of the places that they're not shipping to right now, the cost of shipping is just crazy high, especially, from shipping from Ukraine or whatever. He did say that they did just add Canada on the list today. But he did say that he doesn't have a time frame on a US-based shop in the future. So, take that for what it is. I'm not really sure. He did say that he's not going to have people ship their wheels from the U.S. at least. I don't know about other countries. I'm sure if you live, in the UK or just anywhere in Europe, I'm sure you probably would send your wheel or your pedals, if there was a defect or anything, back to them in the Ukraine, as it would be closer. But overall, I'm pretty excited about the wheel. I think it'll be a lot better on a stronger rig like mine, or I know a lot of people do the 80/20 builds, which those are pretty cool. But with him traveling around and demoing the wheel, I mean, I can understand exactly why he can't carry a big rig around. He couldn't carry my GT Omega rig in his car, not to mention, flying over from the Ukraine to then lug that around. I mean, it would just be not cost effective, as opposed to the playseat one. It would just fold right up. I've been sim racing for about 6 months, so take that for what it is. I've been having a lot of fun. I don't have a lot of experience on any other things. I've literally only drove the Logitech wheel I have now, and one of my buddy's older, I can't remember which, I think he's got a Drive Force GT, the older one. And I will say, though, that the FeelVR wheel is way better than my current setup for wheel and pedals. With the adjustability, the strength of the pedals, you really can actually, you get more immersed into feeling the, like feeling your car more. I will say, though, that, I mean, around turns, it was really easy to feel if you were losing grip. If you, I mean, I think we only turned the wheel up to like maybe, I don't know what he had on his desktop setup, but in iRacing, I think we only had the wheel up to like maybe 15%, and I can tell you that was way more force feedback than my Logitech wheel has. So I would say that it blows the Logitech wheel out of the water. I've never tried the newer Fanatic Club Sport wheels, or the Thrustmaster, or any of the other direct drive wheels. So if that's the feedback you're looking for, I would look at either Sim Racing Paddock's video or I know Sean Cole from the Sim Pit, he also did a video as well, and I know he has a direct drive wheel. In his video, he talked about, is this like a wheel that you would buy if you had, if you've been saving up money and you really, 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 you want a good wheel, you got to go with something that's tried and tested and proven good. I mean, buy a Fanatic. That's what I would buy if this wasn't coming out. I don't have to upgrade my wheel. I'm perfectly fine with my Logitech set right now. I mean, after driving with the FeelVR wheel, I'm really looking forward to getting it. I did back them fully on the Kickstarter, so it's set around November that was the time that it's supposed to come. But if you're saving up your money, you gotta. I agree with Sean. You gotta get something that's tried and tested. But if you have, I won't say disposable income, but if you have, a good current setup and you want to try something different, I would say you gotta try the FeelVR wheel. If you can and you're in the U.S., I try to look to see where he's gonna go event-wise, meet up with him to to test the wheel like we did tonight. I got a one-day notice that he was going to be in Chicago, and I was about 2.5 hours away, and I drove up there and got to test it for a couple hours. We tried. We only did iRacing, but he had a set of Corsa as well, and we drove just NASCAR on the oval. We drove the Miata on Laguna Seca, and we also drove the dirt street stocks on I think the USA International track, just everything that comes with the game when you buy it, basically. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, it was really cool for him to set up this demo for us, to be able to come and try the wheel. We gave him good feedback, and I mean, it was a really cool thing for him to do. I really appreciate him taking time out of his schedule to actually be able to meet up with us for a couple hours and let us try this wheel for no cost to ourselves. He got a nice cool little sticker, and I also got a hat too. A FeelVR hat and FeelVR sticker. So, like I said, I'm really excited on getting this wheel. Kickstarter says around November. I don't absolutely have to have it. One thing he did say is that I asked him how they're going to go about distributing the wheels for like when it comes time to full production. He was telling me that they were going to start with about 15 to 20 wheels and pedals that were going to be mass produced. Well, not mass, but you know what I'm saying. And he said that they were going to send those out predominantly to probably like William Marsh, because he's a pretty big YouTuber in the sim racing community. Some of the other big ones, I'm going to guess Sean. I don't know if he backed them on Kickstarter or not yet, from SimPit, but he said that they were going to distribute those at first and make sure everything's going to be good. Those guys, they've done a lot of test videos and stuff like that. I mean, it'd be cool to get mine sent out, at that time too, but I understand if I can't. But it would be really cool if they did that, if they did, but then he said after that, then they're going to make a couple hundred more and make sure that everything's going to be good, so they don't have one small component that's bad in the first 10 or 15, 20 wheels that they put out, so they don't have to send them all back in mass. They're not going to produce, 1,000 wheels and send out 1,000 wheels and they all have the small problem. They want to make sure everything's going to be good, tested, and ready to go after production by doing it in small increments at a time, which I think is a great idea. I'd rather have a good, full-built, ready-to-go product than something that's rushed that I have to deal with problems with sending back. But any questions, you can comment on the video or ask me on Facebook, which I'll probably put in the Sim Racers forum. But other than that, have a good day, guys. Thank you.